Dear Magdalen Berns, I'm worried about you. Hey Megs, it's Prince of Queens. And this is not sarcastic. This is not an act. We've had a bit of drama, but I am legitimately worried about you because you said that you actually have brain cancer. That truthfully very much concerns me. This makes me feel so bad that I literally talked to my mother about this and told her the whole story, and she agreed that it's troublesome. Am I, quote unquote, concern trolling? Well, that's just a feminist buzzword anyway that implies that it is impossible to be legitimately concerned for somebody and also think that they are kind of an asshole. Truthfully, I feel both things about you, Miss Burns. I think that you engage in poor behavior that I and numerous others have suffered from socially on the internet, but I also wonder if maybe your health has something to do with your careless mistakes online. Perhaps you didn't mean to dishonestly represent people, but you still did it. I'll spare people the details about why I was mad at you to begin with, because this happened before I even had the foggiest idea that you had a brain tumor. Long story short, I made a video where I defended people like you who get called TERFs for the first 5 or 6 minutes, but you made a response video not at all mentioning my extensive defense of people like you and your fans. And you then proceeded to respond to my video as if it was directed at you personally, which it wasn't. The way you framed my video made it then look like I personally insulted you and called you Cupcake, which I also didn't. It's a very small thing, but not to your type of audience. So obviously it would have been nice if you had better informed your fans that I had actually defended people like them who get called TERFs for the entire first half of my video. Because when they saw you acting like I was insulting you and not defending people like them, they went batshit motherfucking ballistic on me in the comments and eventually on Twitter. All I did in your comments at first was try to clarify what I meant with my video, but your fans didn't care what I had to say. They were nasty and verbally abusive right off the bat because they felt like I had attacked you, their mistress, their warrior queen, as it would seem they seem to feel. It was very clear that they wanted blood as soon as they noticed that you had uploaded your video. And it probably didn't even matter what was said, because your fans are fucking piranhas. They went far beyond simply calling me a few names like faggot and stuff, which they did as well. They accused me of hating women because I am an aging gay man that can't get laid. It would be quite offensive if I gave a shit. At any point, you could have mentioned in the comments, oh crap, I messed up and got confused about what you meant, and your fans would have probably largely stopped. Still, do I care all that much? In the grand scheme of things, not really. Do I care that you also apparently dishonestly represented people that I like, such as Yorick and Blair White? Similarly, getting your extremely reactive fans to freak out on them on social media. Well, I think it sucks that you did that, but I didn't go over the videos line for line. But assuming that you did make errors in your responses to them like you did with mine, I have to question why that happened. You see, I think you are usually probably a rather intelligent person. Apparently, you work in physics, and a lot of the arguments you make tend to be pretty logical if one were to assume the context you present them with is solid. But herein lies the problem. From the way you misrepresented my arguments to make it look like I was attacking you, and continued to blame me for the fact that your relentlessly aggressive fans mobbed me in the comment thread under your video and on Twitter when I was simply trying to clear things up at first. Assuming that you are a normally rational person who is willing and capable of paying attention to details, as you are a physicist, I have to question if you are fully mentally equipped to be engaging in large-scale internet drama like you do. Am I saying that you might be suffering mentally because of your brain tumor? Well, I don't exactly want to say it, but let's not kid ourselves. I realize that this sounds completely mean, but fuck it. Who would I be kidding if I pretended that I'm the only person who thought about the possibility that you might be making blatant cognitive mistakes in your arguing simply because your mental capacities aren't in full form? I think you are usually a smart person, but maybe you're not at your best. Truthfully, there are some people who dislike you so much that they have sent me private messages claiming that they don't believe that you even have a brain tumor at all. They seem to think that you are just saying so to garner sympathy so that you cannot be held accountable for your repeated dishonest, manipulative, and seemingly vindictive actions. But I don't really believe that theory. It's hard for me to know what you are going through because you aren't a similar channel to myself. You are a response channel, a ponage channel, a fucking drama channel, ultimately. There is nothing I can say to change that fact, so I will not sugarcoat this. You might think in your head that you're simply defending the lesbian community, but you're doing so by targeting individuals to take apart their arguments. And at least in my case, you didn't even fairly represent what I was saying, nor admit to the error when I pointed it out in your comments. You have spent the past year carefully attacking individuals and their arguments, and from what I've heard, repeatedly misrepresenting what they were saying in the process. Basically, you've not only attacked people, but you have a habit of more or less framing them to make it look like they were saying things that they weren't saying. It's like one molecule away from flat out lying about them. I know people cannot control what their fans do, but when they are taking actions out of false pretenses that people like you presented them with, then that's bad behavior, which is on you. Did you do it on purpose? I'm not sure. Maybe you just aren't all there because of your tumor. But it doesn't mean that hundreds of your fans haven't viciously attacked these people on social media. I know Yorick has been hounded by your fans relentlessly, and considering the types of things they were willing to say to me, people can't just act like this is trivial because you happen to have cancer. It still happened. The emotional attacks that you have instigated still affect other people. I don't know how much they affect other people, and as I said, I can handle a lot of emotional abuse from people on the internet because this is not my first rodeo. Hence why I stay relatively anonymous, because I don't need any more YouTube drama following me around than it would even as it is. But here's where I feel bad for you. I'm not a drama channel, but you are. You're a drama channel, and you've been making enemies basically since you started. More so, you have revealed your face, and more than likely your real name. Now, should people follow you around on social media to verbally abuse you? I don't think so. But it's not up to me. As far as I'm concerned, if you made an apology saying that you misrepresented my video, I'd be fine with you, and I'd ignore subsequent drama from your fans. But you didn't apologize, not even once. Not in the comments, not on Twitter. It would have been so easy, but you couldn't just do that. I apologize to people all the time if I accidentally do something that, leads to some sort of strife for them. I don't know why you couldn't just do it. I guess apologies are hard for some people. Still, no matter what I fucking say, it's too late for you to escape ongoing internet drama. You've shown yourself. And if people fucking hate you, and apparently some of them do, they are going to do what they want. I personally hope that these people will get a life and don't end up mobbing you or anybody they dislike on social media, because that's rather weak behavior in my book, especially considering you have a brain tumor. But what the fuck do they care what I say? My audience isn't generally the people who really hate you that much. I know you've pissed off countless trans people, countless feminists, and the fans of people like Blair White and Yorick. And how many of these people are going to give a flying goddamn fuck that you happen to have brain cancer if you continue to stir up drama? If even 5% of the people you've pissed off continue to attack you online, it will definitely be a huge burden as you get your brain tumor treated. That all said, I wish you the best. I really do. But to help you maybe rest your mind a bit, I want you to know about one gaping flaw in your continued arguments on your channel. I truly hope that this helps you move forward with some peace of mind. I know you struggle with this one particular argument, and I want to put it to rest. You are a TERF. I want you to admit it and move on. You are a TERF the same way that I am an MRA. You see, you keep saying that TERF is a homophobic and sexist slur, but everything about that statement is just flat out wrong. First off, TERF is not a slur. It's an acronym. In case you don't know, an acronym is a word that is composed of the first letters of a phrase. The acronym TERF stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist, something that you technically are. I know that people use it in a derogatory sense, but it's an acronym. I don't know if you identify as a radical feminist, but you are a feminist. And the term radical is a subjective term anyway. And since a lot of people feel your beliefs are radical, you get to be called a TERF. You are a trans exclusionary radical feminist by definition. Get the fuck over it and move on. If you want, maybe you should defend the term against being used in a derogatory sense. Or maybe get over your obsession with the argument because it's seemingly a very large percentage of your content, and I think people get your point. Similarly to you being a TERF, I am an MRA, in the technical sense, even though I wouldn't admit it for a while. Why? Because I advocate for men's rights on my channel, and therefore I am a men's rights advocate. MRA is an acronym that represents what I do as a person. So if I said I wasn't an MRA, I would be lying. Like you are when you say that you aren't a TERF. When you say you aren't a TERF, you're lying. You also say the acronym TERF is sexist and homophobic, but it's not. It's clinical. A sexist term would be to call a woman a gash. A homophobic term for a lesbian would be to call them rug munchers. Trans exclusionary radical feminist has nothing inherently sexist or homophobic about it. Mags, I hope this message reaches you well. And if you want to continue internet drama with me, I obviously can't stop you or your fans, but that is not what I want. I wanted to have a live stream with you to discuss the things we have in common, which are several, and the things we disagree with. But I was hoping to find common ground that we might be surprised by. What I didn't want was to find out that you have created a massive amount of internet drama and a huge list of people that are more than ready to make your life hell on the internet because you were making bad decisions when you weren't able to properly think them through. If you aren't physically and mentally equipped to take the heat, I hope for your sake you step out of the kitchen. I say this with compassion. If you were my sister, this is what I would tell you. I just hope that you can sit back and think about what's going on here and how to best proceed with what you want to happen. I have been close to numerous people dealing with cancer, and it isn't an easy thing to get through. The last thing that you need is people trying to constantly attack you on the internet. And it doesn't matter how many times you say you have cancer. Several people won't even know about that. They'll see your videos and mob you on Twitter. And the people you should be worried about won't care that you're sick, even if they do hear about it. If I were you, I'd probably at least delete my Twitter. But again, I'm not a drama channel. Maybe you enjoy this stuff. Have a good one.